the next thing that we're going to do is called a system of equations. So we're going to jump right into where we left off, which was graphing lines. And we're going to solve a system of two equations by graphing. Okay, so all this stuff you are familiar with because we just did y equals mx plus b. We just did general form. Okay, so how to graph and solve. So where does this equation equal this equation? Okay, so number one, here we go. Y equals mx plus b, I would recognize like that. So b is -2. That's my y-intercept. That's where I start. And then my slope is 3, so then I think about 3 as a fraction is to go up 3 and right 1. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do that staircase a few times. I'm going to go up 3 and right 1, up 3 and right 1. I'm just going to try to do that so I can be a little more precise. And then I'm also going to do that staircase in a backtracking way. Here I went down and left because it falls on the same staircase though, right? Okay, graphing the other line. So the other one is in general form. We learned we can do algebra or we can do the formulas. I'm going to pick algebra because then I just don't have to think about anything. It's just always the same. So algebraically, I'm going to go 2y equals. So I keep the y. I'm going to move the x stuff over. And I'm going to move the number over. So those all switch signs. The x's and the number switch signs because I moved. I'm going to divide by 2. And then I have y equals mx plus b. So now I can identify my y-intercept is 6. And my slope is -1. So I would be going down 1 and then over. Down 1, over. Okay, so the point of this now is to say, where does this line equal that line? So where do they intersect? So they have intersected on me, and I have to figure out the answer, which is the coordinate where they intersect. So that would be, I'm getting 2, 4. Is that what your lines are doing on your paper as well? 2, 4. Okay, I'm just going to verify my answer by plugging it in. So this is something you can 100% do on your test if you want to see if you got it right. So I'm going to plug 2, 4 in to the equation. So for instance, this is my first equation, y equals 3x minus 2. I'm going to replace y with a 4, and I'm going to replace x with a 2. Because my coordinate is 2, 4. But does everybody remember coordinates go x and then y? So I'm replacing x with 2 and I'm replacing 4 with the y, right? Does that make sense why I'm doing that? Okay, so this would be 6 and then 6 minus 2. Is that going to work out? Does that equal each other? 4 equals 4. Yeah, that's good. It ended up working. And then I'm going to take the other original equation. I'm going to use the original. And then I'm going to plug in. So what did we have? We had a 2 that we could replace x with. And we had a 4 that we can replace y with. So then I got 4 plus 8, subtract 12, and what would that math all come to? 0. So 0 equals 0. So therefore, when I put it into the equation, it worked out. Okay, that means you're right. If you put it in and it works like that, that means you got it right. Okay, so example 2, I have these two equations. This one is ready to go. Y equals mx plus b. So there's my y-intercept, and my slope is going to be me doing up 2 and right 1. So go ahead and graph that line. So start at your -4. And I'm going to do a few staircases again because I don't know where it's going to intersect. So I'm just going to give myself multiple points. So every time, again, I was going up 2, right 1, up 2, right 1. And then I actually backtracked on the staircase as well. Okay, so this one, to me, is not ready to graph. It does not look like y equals mx plus b. So I'm going to perform algebra stuff on this. What would I do to change it to y equals form? I would get that away. I'd have to subtract x. I'd have to move it. So now, if I move that to the other side, I can make it look like y equals mx plus b. Okay, so algebra steps, make sure you understand what you have to get rid of. And that's it. Don't have to move anything else or divide. So here's your y-intercept. Here's your slope. So again, start at 5 on your y-axis, and then you're doing a down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1, until they intersect. And then the solution would be the coordinate of the intersection. So when I say what is the answer, your answer should be 3, 2 as an answer to this. Okay, and we are just going to verify it because on a test, if I had time, I would go back and I would do this to make sure I have it right. So I'm going to replace x with a 3, and I'm going to replace y with a 2. And then my first equation ended up working out, equaling. And again, make sure you're lining it up. Y is actually going to be a 2. And the x gets replaced with a 3. Okay, so make sure you're putting x into the proper spot and y into the proper spot. That one worked out as well.